So as we all know, the Arizona Cardinals offseason has been looking really good so far as they have picked up some pieces they needed. But are they ready to contend? How is everybody doing today? It's Sportello back with another video. Today, I'm going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals and if they are ready to contend. Before I start though, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell and leave a like on this video. You guys, we are getting really close to 400 subscribers, so if you're not here, you know what to do. Hit that sub button. But without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing we got to look at is how the Cardinals did last year. Last year, the Cardinals were last in their division and they went 5-10, and they just weren't the best. And the reason why was really just because they were trying out some new pieces and not everything went well. Last year they went 5-10-1 because, Kyler Murray, it was his rookie season, so not everything starts out well when you first have it. But this offseason has been looking incredible for the Arizona Cardinals. It's been looking so incredible that some of my subscribers have said Super Bowl is next, which I don't know about that, but they are definitely looking like they can make the playoffs next year. So here's what happened. Almost a week ago, the Arizona Cardinals traded David Johnson, a 2020 second-round pick, and a 2021 fourth-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins and a fourth-round pick. And last year, Hopkins had 104 receptions with 1,165 yards and seven touchdowns last season. So he was good. And David Johnson, he was like a really good prospect back when he was about to get drafted. But besides that, he wasn't much. And the Texans now trading away DeAndre Hopkins, those wide receivers are not looking too good. But for the Cardinals, this is what their wide receivers are going to be looking like next year, their starting wide receivers. They're projecting to have Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, and Christian Kirk. Fitzgerald is old, but now that you have Hopkins with the wide receivers, I have a feeling that this wide receiving team is looking really good. But the real question we have to ask is, are the Cardinals ready to make the wild card or even the playoffs at least? Well, guys, here's what I think. The only way the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs is if Kyler Murray actually stays consistent. Because last year, Kyler Murray was inconsistent. There were some games where he's going to be really good, throwing about 200 yards and all that. And then there are other games where he's going to throw interceptions and not so good. Kyler Murray is coming into the second year of his career. And there are some quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson who were MVPs in the second year of their career. Now, all Kyler Murray needs to do is stay consistent and work on actually staying consistent during the offseason. Because his biggest problem, I'm saying it again, staying consistent. Because now Kyler Murray has more wide receivers that can help him out. DeAndre Hopkins was, to me, the exact piece this team needed. A wide receiver that can not only help you out to get more passing yards, but also a player that can help you win more. If Kyler Murray can do his thing, that's good. All he needs is a little bit of help. And DeAndre Hopkins was the right player. He was the guy that you can say can help out the wide receivers. Because listen up, Larry Fitzgerald is getting old, all right? And he was good while it lasted. Right now, he's decent. And then after, Kenyon Drake and Christian Kirk aren't bad, but DeAndre Hopkins is the player that they needed in the wide receiving team. The main guy. So, say for example, you're trying to get a touchdown, you can pass it to DeAndre Hopkins, of course, if he's open. My point here is, guys, that Hopkins is the leader of the wide receiving team. They needed a guy like that. So, good job, Arizona Cardinals, for getting DeAndre Hopkins. All you got to do now, you got to test out the team and see if they're good enough. Because there are a lot of other teams who you're going to have to compete with. And a lot of teams in their division. For example, last year the 49ers finished 13-3. The Seahawks finished 11-5. And the Rams the Rams went 9-7. So the Niners and the Seahawks made the playoffs, and the Rams just missed it. So The Rams are doing some interesting moves. By that I mean they released Todd Gurley and Clay Matthews. The Seahawks, well, they're still looking the same. And the 49ers, well, they traded away DeForest Buckner for the 13th pick of the first round in the draft. And it looks like they're going to be drafting another defensive lineman. So it still looks really good. All the Cardinals need to do now is try to make it to the wild card, which pretty much means they're going to have to try to be almost as good as the Seahawks. The Rams, to be honest, I feel like they're just kind of rebuilding at this point because they don't have Gurley or Matthews anymore. And Matthews was a really good player on defense, and Gurley was a good running back. Well, both of those guys are gone now, and we're not sure what they're trying to do. But the Cardinals, they've entered to a point where they're ready to contend. And if they're going to try to do that right now, Kyler Murray needs to stay consistent, and they're just going to have to trust their guys and just move along. So that's all I got to say there, guys. The only way the Cardinals can make the playoffs is if Kyler Murray can stay consistent, and if, to be honest, no one gets injured, and the teams that they're going to have to try to beat out in the division has to be, the Rams is going to be easy, but the teams that are going to be really hard to do is going to be the Seahawks and the 49ers. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I will see you all next time. I'm out.